You are soaring flight of imagination, saturated in the movable. Removable, no excuses. You're breaking all the rules. You are brew, composed in shea butter, peppermint and honey black soap. Nas lifeline inscribed in palm, unconventional, standing 20 feet tall. You are 1969 in the syncopated. Improvisation to the metronome. You chasse too. You allow your voice to ripen before time signatures expire in measures. You origami chords. You are where 30 shakes hands with adolescents realizing you just hit puberty. Watch as red clay seeps through pores building pyramids past prime. You are prime at 44. All brass, double bass, 2 drummers, 3 electric pianos, and percussionists all saying forget it at once. Hey, 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 y'all. And we are here back for another episode of All About Our Liberation, the podcast that happens on the first and third Mondays of every month. Look here, I cannot believe we're in the third week of December. 2026 is almost over. But I am so excited to be joining y'all here today. It has been a long 2 weeks for me, but I am so glad to be bringing my girl to the stage with us to have the most beautiful conversation. So if y'all don't already have your people in the room, you know what I'm about to tell you. Go ahead and get them here. Tag them, get them in the room, because I promise you this conversation is going to be worth it. Every conversation that we have is going to be worth it. So I already see Teresa, you were in the building. What's up, Teresa? I see you over there in YouTube. I see Reflective Wisdom 6741. I feel like I should know who that is. But it said, hey, Heather and Joan. But Tony. See, hey, Tony. Tony's here. I'm so excited that you're here. Make sure y'all get some more folks in the room. Make sure to like and share and bring all the comments that you have with you in this space, because this is about us having a conversation together. So I can see the comments. I can address them. Might not be able to type, but I can see you here, right? So I appreciate y'all for being here with us today. If you don't know who I am, it is your girl, Heather Byrd here, founder, visionary, and CEO of Byrd's World and Byrd's World Publishing, where we are on a mission to empower individuals, especially women of color, to write and publish their brilliance so they can turn their messages into movements. All right. This is not just about writing books and being on stages, right? And today I'm excited to be able to invite you to All About Our Liberation, the podcast, as we work collectively to reclaim and rebuild our way back home. This podcast is inspired by the upcoming anthology that we are now extending the conversation so we can transform not only on the page, but in person. Together, we will create permission to write, to rest, and to remember who we were before the world got its hands on us. So get your people in the room. I'm telling you this now. Make sure you are tagging them. You are sharing this episode, and make sure to leave a comment so that I know where you are coming from. Let us know where your feet are planted. All right. But before we get started, I would like to send a shout out to the network that has made all of this possible. If y'all know me, y'all already know I got several things going on and I'm juggling a lot. And I am just so thankful for the network bringing me on board that's making All About Our Liberation, the podcast, possible, right? And for us to be able to continue to have this conversation. So I would like for us to take a second and introduce you to the Female Solution.
Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution.
All right, y'all, and we are back. I'm so excited to be here with y'all. Be here with you all today. Before we get started, one of the things that I love to be able to do with folks is to make sure that we have the opportunity to ground ourselves, to create space to pause, and to really honor our ancestors and their wisdom along with our own that we've been able to gather, right? So take a pause from tagging other people and from getting them in the room, right? And if you are in a good place, if you're driving, it's not a good place, just as an example. But if you are in a good place, I would love for you to kind of just get yourself situated. And I know I'm burning one of my favorite incense called Black Woman. Oof, smells so good. Shout out to Cultural Connections in Chicago. Um, and what I would love for us to do is just create space for us to be still. So if you're lying down, I encourage you to lie all the way down. If you are sitting and your back is up against something, just allow whatever that is holding you to fully hold you. And if you feel comfortable enough, I would love for you to be able to close your eyes. And I want you just to take note for a second of what your body is doing, how it's feeling, where some of the tension might be, where some of the joy might live, how things might be dancing in your body. And I would love for us to take 4 breaths together. So the first breath is going to be a regular inhale through your nose and exhale out through your mouth. And then the 3 following will be just a little different. So if this is your first time joining me, I want you all, for those last 3, we're going to inhale together. And then we're going to exhale out with a deep hum. And I want that hum to take up space in your body, in your place of residence, in your car with your eyes open, right? But I want that hum to be able to resonate through your body. Hums are healing. And we have the tool to be able to begin to heal our bodies from all that it's gone through and all that it's holding. So let's go ahead and take a nice deep breath in together. And let's exhale out through our mouth. Inhale in together. And let's hum out. If you're in public or in your home and someone's looking at you like what's going on, invite them to join in the hum. Inhale in together again. And let's hum out. One last time. Inhale in. And a deep hum out. Allow that hum to settle in your body. Whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and open your eyes. There's absolutely no rush. Because as you are taking note of what your body is doing, as we're taking this pause, right, as we're grounding, I want us to think about a particular quote that I pulled for today that I would love for us to think through collectively, right? So if you were in this chat, I see you, Catherine. Welcome, my dear. Hey, I see J.R. Mackey's in the building. See y'all over there on YouTube. If y'all are there with us, and there will be more to come, I would love for you to think about today's quote by Bell Hooks. I believe that this quote really grounds us in the practice of slowing down enough to name what we already know in our bodies and in our breath. And that's going to be setting up the conversation for today, right? So for today, our quote by Bell Hooks is, "The act of writing is the act of naming what we know." The act of naming is the act, the act of writing is the act of naming what we know. I'm going to put that at the bottom of the screen so that you all have an opportunity to see it, because I know I am a visual learner. And I want you to kind of take that quote in. The act of writing is the act of naming what we know. And I also want us, as we are taking in that quote, I want us to think about the question, what part of your story is asking to be named so it no longer has to stay buried? And say it again. What part of your story is asking to be named so it no longer has to stay buried? All right. So for all my visual learners out there, here you go. There is the question. I'm going to give you the opportunity to let that kind of sink in a little bit. Hey, Jano. Welcome, Jano. I'm glad that you're here. You're in the car, but not driving. All right. Good. Safety first. So I'm going to let that kind of settle in your bones a little bit. We're going to take a quick commercial break. So I know I am going to drink my water. Stay hydrated, y'all. Grab your tea, grab your water, put some lemons in it. We're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we are back, y'all, I get to introduce our guest. And we're about to have one hell of a conversation. All right, y'all. So we'll be back in about a minute and a half. So go ahead, grab your drink, and we'll be back in a second. See y'all in a little bit.
What's up, guys? It's Osada, the host of the Gathering of the Griots podcast, part of the Female Solution. Want you to join us every Tuesday morning from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. And guess what we do? We interview authors of the Soulful Chicago Book Fair. The books, the experiences, the lifestyles, all of it with fervor. So be there right on the Soulful Chicago Book Fair YouTube page or on the Female Solution Facebook page. We look forward to having you and all our literary essence. Peace.
Welcome to Master Force with Mushim Suit. Join us each week on Thursdays at 7 a.m. Central, live on Facebook and YouTube on the Female Solution page. As we dive into powerful topics designed to assist you in mastering your life force, our conversations feature a diverse lineup of experts, all dedicated to your growth. Tune in weekly to discover new ways to elevate your spirit and raise your vibration. And remember, we are ascending.
All right, y'all, and we are back. Look, the incense is incensing. We are flowing here. Make sure y'all check out the other sisters in the Female Network and the other shows that happen Monday through Friday, both at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. You can catch any of the amazing conversations that are taking place. And we are just one of them that are here. So again, shout out to the Female Network for having us. It's official, y'all. We are back. I know y'all like, where's the guests? Heather, these commercials went to, I'm not here for you. Well, maybe you are. And I'm thankful that you were here, right? But for all the folks that I see who are here in the room, I know y'all are also here for our guests, right? So welcome back to All About Our Liberation, the podcast. Again, where we work collectively to remember, to reclaim, and to rebuild our way back home. So get your people in the room, because this is about to be an amazing conversation. Because now it is time to welcome our guests for this episode, y'all. I know y'all are feeling it. If y'all are feeling it, can I see it in the chat? If y'all are excited, can I see it in the chat? Can I see y'all? Let me know if you are excited to bring this guest to the stage. While y'all are warming up your fingers and getting ready, type yes in the chat if y'all are ready for this guest that's coming up. I am super excited because her bio is something that brings me so much joy. Jojo! Hi, Jojo. I'm glad you're here. Hey, Teresa. Woohoo! Look here. We got the chat. The chat is doing its thing. I am super excited for y'all. So I do this exercise with the clients that I work with, And one of the exercises that we do is to have folks write their Oriki. Shout out to Lovia Ajayi Jones and her book, Professional Troublemaker. In chapter 1, she talked about whose we are. And within that chapter, she talks about how important it is for us to get back to our Orikis, praising of head and mind, right? I like to call it our badass mantra, because there are some days we forget who we are and whose we are and all that we have accomplished. So with that being said, I am going to read to you our guest's Oriki. All right, y'all. We are going to be in celebration today. All right. So to get us going, she is Joan, second of her name, daughter of Hyacinth and Joe, granddaughter of Rosa, from the house of Baylis and Edwards in Jamaica. Hailing from London, she is a fierce world traveler, comfortable in any land, sassy speaker of any tongue, master communicator. All hail this badass beloved queen. Channeler of courage, faith, and creativity, her golden pen writes tomes of truthful tales for all to enjoy. Fear her if you terrorize, exploit, or disrespect other beings, because she is a superwoman of justice and slayer of all evildoers. As an exceptional educator teaching lessons of enlightenment to babes and elders with ease. Heads turn when people hear the magical, melodious words she speaks in 3 languages. They can't believe how talented she is. She can. Wise beyond her years, she's been to this planet many times before. Nothing surprises her, but her heart aches from the wounding of humanity. So she's here to heal. She's here to heal the world, starting with herself first. Y'all, if that didn't get you excited, I don't know what will. So let's go ahead and get our hands together, all the celebrations, get in this chat, and help me welcome Joan Edwards to All About Our Liberation. Hey!
Hey!
What's this Oriki, boo? Like,
I've not had
like
somebody read it to me before, so that's really edifying. That fills me. Okay, I'm like, all right, let me fill in that.
Oh, tell me a little bit more. Like, to hear someone else speak the words that you wrote. How does it land?
So, it's such a personal endeavor to write. And particularly for me, my journals were my friends. So it was just me and my journals talking. It was just me. And so the Oriki, you'd encourage us to write it. And I was like, wow, I need to really channel what I've been trying to tamp down. And so to hear you read it with just abandon, I was like, oh, wow, that's a reminder. Don't play small.
Look here, we're not shrinking anymore.
No more shrinking.
Like, we have the opportunity to take note of all that we have done and all that we've had to be, wanted to be, all those pieces. And we get to show up differently.
Yes.
Absolutely. Because we are in spaces with people who see our brilliance and know that what we're writing is needed. So I thank you for always showing up, for always pouring into me, pouring into others, sharing your home with me. Like, we need another sleepover plan, like
we do.
All of this has been extremely healing for me.
Absolutely.
And it's very interesting hearing from others watch us interact and how they're watching in real time how we're healing each other.
Yes. It's such a special thing, because when I moved to the US, which we'll talk about later, as a child, it was a very surprising experience. I thought that, this is me, my ego, that they would be like crowds, being like, here she comes, like, welcome, here's this girl.
We love somebody with a good accent. Don't get me wrong.
I had a beautiful accent. I was dressed up like, we came in our best, Sunday best. And people really didn't receive me the way I needed to be received. Let's put it that way. And so to be alive, one, and have the kind of reciprocal connection and friendship and support that I experienced with you and with the other sister resistors, it just buoys me. It buoys me. It you know, like a buoy.
Buoys. I heard
buoys.
something else.
No, it buoys me. Like it helps me float. Like the Eureka, you reading it. I wrote that, but then hearing somebody read it, it's like I get showered with my own words. And those are truthful words. So it's not, oh no, that's not me. It's like, oh right, that's right. I remember that's me.
They deserve to be read out loud. Yes.
They do.
Yes. Which takes us back, right, to the quote. The act of writing is an act of naming what we know, right?
Yeah.
And obviously it doesn't stop with just the writing, because there's so much that can be said of once it's written, who's now reading it, whose voice is being assigned in that moment to read it out loud. How are folks being moved by what they're reading? Like there's so many different pieces that are a part of it. And so don't think I forgot about y'all who out there watching. Again, we're still tagging and bringing people in the room for this conversation, right?
Yeah.
So before we left for that commercial break, I left y'all with a question, right? And the question was, what part of your story is asking to be named so it no longer has to stay buried? So if you all are open, would love for you all to join us in this conversation and put what comes to mind in the chat. Right now, I want to open this up to you, Joan, and have folks begin to just get to know you a little bit more, and you being able to answer this question and let me know what comes up for you when thinking about this.
Yeah, I've been thinking about, first of all, knowing, right? The word just being knowing. And when I used to do presentations, used to think about, there's what you know, there's what you don't know, and there's what you don't know. And so that has been so amazing for me in being community as a writer and actually having authentic conversations with myself is, what is it that I need to know that I didn't know? What is it that I didn't know that I didn't know, that now that I know it gives me an opportunity to go and find what was buried. So there's a show I watched, somebody turned me on to it, somebody in our group, called Small Island. And it's a story of Jamaicans who went to the UK in the late 1950s in the Windrush generation. And there's a scene where one of the protagonists, she's looking to free herself. So she buries money under a tree. And I think about that scene because I buried my brilliance. I didn't quite know that's what I was doing. My 15-year-old knew, but I didn't know. She knew. I knew I was brilliant, right? But it was not okay to be brilliant and Black and a girl. That was kind of, I was like, why are people not like as amazed about what I'm saying as I am? I had stories galore. And so over time, those systems, those experiences just helped me or forced me, invited me, whatever, to bury it one layer at a time for survival.
Yeah.
So as I think about this woman burying for survival, she buried it so she could find it later. And when she dug it up, it allowed her to free herself. So now that my brilliance has been exposed and I keep finding little gems, like when you dig in like a what they call it, the vein in a mine, where you start to find all of the minerals and all of the like, I'm finding my brilliance. And sometimes I need to sit more quietly, be more patient, breathe a little bit deeper, shine off what might seem not really valuable, and find even more brilliance. So for me, that's what I'm discovering, and I invite my friends to really just help me remember that, because sometimes I forget.
Yeah. And that Oriki is a way to remind you of who you are, right? And why it's so important for you to revisit the pieces of yourself and remember who you were before the world got its hands on you.
Exactly.
Which I think is a really great segue into our next piece, right? So we have been working on this anthology all about our liberation, and this anthology came about because of the transformation that we noticed that's taking place both on the page and in person. And the way in which we are showing up in the world is just different. And we wanted to be able to track that difference. We wanted to be able to think about, well, if we're going through this, someone else is going through it too. And it wasn't until we started to have the conversations with each other that we were able to open up the door for this whole new path to liberation that we didn't even know was possible as women of color. Right. And so one of the pieces that exists within All About Our Liberation, a manifesto for women of color, are these letters to a sister resistor. And so, Joan, I would love for you to be able to move us into a conversation by reading one of your letters that is dedicated and written to a sister resistor in conversation with a sister resistor, right? In our section, All About Our Liberation. I mean, all about remembering. It's all about our liberation, but it's in the section all about remembering.
Yeah.
So I would love for you to be able to share that letter with the folks that are here with us today. And for folks who are listening, if there is anything that you resonate with, right? I see Teresa's here. Thank you for sharing. Some of us were taught to shrink to survive, right? Today, I'm choosing to stop burying my brilliance and start letting it lead. Like,
yes.
You are freeing people with your words and with that's Teresa.
We're freeing ourselves, and we're freeing ourselves, right?
We're liberating ourselves, right? Because I feel like freedom is one level, liberation is another, right? I would love for you to read that. I'm gonna put you.
And can I just say that, like, I love letter writing. I'm one of probably the few people that actually goes to the post office and orders the stamps. I'm the annoying woman in front of you who says, well, wait, besides the forever stamps that are flagged, what else do you have? People are like, let's go. I love writing letters, and I don't necessarily need to receive any back. I just like writing them. I like that process. So being invited to write a letter to a sister resistor within myself and sister resistors I have not yet met, right up my alley. So I will just launch right into it. This remembering has been really healing for me, because so much of this was buried under shame, under thinking nobody would want to hear it. So here we go. Dear sister resistor, one of the most precious possessions we are holding is our voice. The unique way we speak, our accents, our turn of phrases, and the way we angle our body language to communicate our thoughts. I realize this now as a woman healing from the urge to fit in and to be just like everyone else. The young, brave, scared, and curious 15-year-old me who had just moved from East London to a Connecticut suburb knew this. However, the issue is, how does a newcomer, a child of immigrants, make sense of not fitting in? How do you keep the flame of curiosity and the hope of making friends alive when peers don't understand why you speak with an English accent? I struggle to navigate each long day as a pride-filled teenager, acknowledging the need to sound just like those cool kids in class. They knew how to use language so people could understand them the first time they spoke. They moved easily from one code of speaking meant for the teacher and then seamlessly shifted into a language that their friends liked and respected. Not aligning with the standard image and sounds of a Black girl is so hard. This experience turned out too challenging for me to stay true to all of me. So I slowly and intentionally gave up my accent. At first, it was an intriguing exercise to see how many new American words I could remember to use in the correct context. It was rewarding to slip into the background a bit easier when my voice didn't trigger head turns and quizzical looks from sounding different. I understand now why I made that youthful choice to change my accent. I welcomed sounding like I was from the US and no longer belonging to where I was really from. Unfortunately, assimilation ain't easy on the soul. The thing is, the more I changed myself to fit the image of the cool American Black girl from Connecticut, the more I lost that witchy, confident, and bright-smiled 15-year-old from East London. While that part of me was not fully erased, I do twinge because I have to admit that I chose to lose a bit of myself while I still never fully fitted in. Can you relate? Have you compromised an aspect of your identity to be like others, to make them comfortable, or maybe to even become a bit less visible? I bet you have. I see you. And here's what I want to say to both you and to myself. Let's hold ourselves close with a tender heart as we continue to grow into who we truly are. Let's give ourselves unapologetic permission to speak the way we need to so we can honor the girl and the woman we deserve to be. And let's give ourselves grace when it's just not possible to do so. I'm still unfolding into the woman nestled at my core. I continue to heal the young girl in me who grieves the pieces of herself she erased. And I'm giving myself the space to forgive myself for assuming that fitting into someone else's narrative or mold was the answer to feeling whole. This compassionate peeling back of layers is an integral part of my liberation process. I invite you to join me in this coming home. On this journey, we will find our way to create the life where we belong to ourselves.
Joan.
Ooh, gotta take a breath on that one.
Look here. I think we all need to take a little bit of a breath. There's so much to unpack with this. There's so much to unpack. Before we take a quick break so that we can exhale a little bit more, right? I want to just put out here, Tony said, the letters I get from Joan always come exactly when I need to receive her reassuring voice.
Yes.
Right? J.R. Mackey.
Thank you.
Wow. Shower with my own words. Joan. Ashe. So let's go ahead and gather ourselves. We're going to come back and have an amazing conversation. So get your questions ready. If y'all drop a question in the chat, I might ping you. Or we might answer it in the behind the scenes that you'll have to check out in Substack. I ain't made up my mind yet, but like, let's go ahead and take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back to unpack y'all. So, thank you, Joan. Thank you. We'll be right back, y'all.
Everything we're made of contains light. From the sun that feeds our world to the energy that flows within us. With LifeWave X39, we've found a way to put that light to work. With X39, we achieved something remarkable in the field of wellness and science that others could not. By utilizing LifeWave's unique patented technology, X39 uses light to elevate GHK-Cu, a copper peptide known to support overall health and wellness. Unlike traditional light therapy, X39 uses the body's own infrared light to naturally increase vitality. By gently stimulating the skin with light, our non-invasive, non-transdermal X39 patches help you conquer your active lifestyle and pave a new way to vibrant health.
Oof. Yes, all the deep exhales. All of the hums, if necessary. Let's take a second. What's going through your mind right now after reading that and sharing that with others? Is this your first time reading it out loud to other people?
It is. It is. I have a picture of my 15-year-old up on my wall because she holds me accountable. Because she knew. I used to tell stories about her as if she were just a victim, that part of myself was just fitting in. And as I even read that letter, much like with anything that I write, I'm like, ooh, did I really erase it or was it just buried?
And that was a huge thing that came up for us as we were like unpacking this, right? Like when you first wrote that, it was about erasure.
It was.
And then I asked the question, did you erase it or was it just buried? Because I feel like it's still accessible.
And what's important about that is the world tells us that we are erased, that we're supposed to be erased, that we're supposed to disappear, that we're supposed to go away, that we're supposed to not be here. And what they don't realize, and I don't remember the name of the author to credit this to, but we are seeds. And so it was buried. My accent is buried. And I've just been thinking about how that 15-year-old really crafted her communication. It's a very different way of telling my story than I lost my accent. There's a difference. And what I feel is so crucial in the work that we're doing for this anthology in our community of sister resistors when we meet each day is to remind ourselves of what the truth is, not what they want us to believe. That's two different things.
Yes.
What's the truth? Not what they want us to believe. What I believed was I wasn't enough. I wasn't Black enough. I wasn't smart enough. I wasn't pretty enough. I wasn't I wasn't enough. And then there were moments when I was too much. What's really true is I am. And I have to give a shout out to my transformational coach, Dr. Mensima Shabazz, because our most recent conversation that we had was about the power of naming who we are. I am is just enough. It's the affirmation. Like when I pour into you, it's because I see the truth. You may not see it. You may not know it. You may not remember it. Yes. And then when I need it, you pour into me, especially when I'm stuck. We won't go there with that. In a kayak on the river.
The whole story. Maybe we'll talk a little bit more about it.
Maybe in the behind the scenes.
When it's a whole story, but a great metaphor for just us writing, right? And what that looks like. Thank you so much for sharing that letter. We had the opportunity to share space with each other earlier this year. I literally bought a one-way ticket to Connecticut and did not know when I was coming back, right? So, there was a conference that took place, a couple of conferences and some other things that existed. And so I had a chance to just be in your presence. And there was a moment that neither one of us are going to forget when we were in the kitchen and you were just zipping and thopping and moving. And I just put my hand on you and was like, Joan, slow down. And in that moment, I remember your shoulders. You inhaled, you exhaled. Someone says, I see you. You are more than enough, even in a kayak.
Even in a kayak.
So I got distracted. But like your shoulders started to relax, right? And there was a moment where you started to just take notice of something you've never paused long enough to realize. And so my question for you is, what happens when your body gives you the permission to actually slow down?
What happens? So it depends on where I am, in that moment, I remember that moment because I felt found out. Like I was like, oh, like you paused me.
She can see me.
She can see me. I can see myself. So I saw myself and I realized that I wasn't breathing. I gave a noble reason. Well, I'm, getting the house ready. Like there's a lot to do. But that was not the real reason. The real reason is tied into part of my healing, which is when I slow down, I have to answer to me. And for so many years, I've been running away from myself. I've been looking outside of myself.
Whoa.
Okay, I'll slow down. I'll slow down. I'll take a breath.
You said for so many reasons, I've been running away from myself?
Yes. Yes. Saying, running away from myself, which is looking outside of myself, running to try to find worthiness. Is it over here in this group? Is it with this particular degree? Is it in this job? Is it with this presentation? Is it with this person? And the pernicious aspect of that is that I'm not being who I was sent here to be. So in that moment, you woke me up. Like, I still feel that moment. I can revisit that moment. I know exactly where I was. And you said, why are you out of breath? I think you said.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why are you out of breath?
In your own home.
In my own home.
There was we had a moment of was it 2 episodes ago when Barbara was here? There was this sense of urgency that existed, that didn't have to exist, that we assigned to ourselves, that has us out of breath.
Right. And coming back to when I slow down, thank you, Tony, for bringing that back. When I slow down, I have to answer to me. And when I answer to me, I might have to say, actually, I'm not okay with what you just said or what you just did or what's going on right now in this meeting, at this party, in this relationship. And I have to answer to myself, if I am not exposing and believing my own brilliance and saying I am, then I'm actually going to run away from myself, because the person's going to say, well, I don't know what you're talking about. Or, why are you so emotional? I was just kidding. Or whatever the mechanism is for having me step outside of myself. And what I would say is, when I slow down, I'm invited to elongate my breath. And when I elongate my breath and I land within me, that's when the response for the moment shows up.
Response for the moment. It's your intentionality of your language that I really love, right? Because it's not necessarily that it's my response that's going to live on for forever, that I'm going to stick with, that I'm not going to take time to pause and analyze and, weigh the pros and cons for. It's in the moment.
In the moment. And
I get to own where I am in that moment and honor it by pausing and putting language to it.
Yes. And I would say, folks, I'm a work in progress. Like, it's been years.
Welcome to the
club. Right. But it's been years that I have been breathing in the message that I need to be urgent, that I need to operate in a way that is not in alignment with who I am as who I am. It's been years. So here I am detoxifying from that and still learning about what were the rewards, I guess, that I need to, like when you want to give up candy, you want to give up something, it's like, what do I replace it with? And I'm still learning. What do I replace that urgency with? What do I replace that shallow breathing with? What do I replace it with? That is uniquely mine. And that's what fuels my writing. And again, I have to say, in case people don't hear this, I don't do this alone. The reason why I was able to and am able to discover who I am is I write in community, right? That's the key to this for me, is I write in community. We're supposed to be in community.
Yeah.
And it's when I'm in community that, Shauna will say, no,
don't talk about my friend like that.
Don't talk about my friend like that. Like, I will be corrected. I will be invited to come back to myself and go, oh, right, that's right.
Yeah.
Right. Or I will say something and it will allow another sister to feel seen, to slow down, to elongate her breath. When I did a lot of speaking engagements back in my youth, and I used to lose my voice. And it was someone, I can't remember who it was, but somebody who said, the reason why you're losing your voice is because you are shallow breathing.
I wouldn't have thought that.
Like I was panting through my presentations, and I was probably, somebody in the chat could probably tell us a little bit more, but in terms of the exchange of oxygen and the air passing over my vocal cords, in addition to the fact I've never hydrated enough, but as I take a
cheers.
That's something that still sits in my consciousness, that an elongated breath allows me to be present to me, and then we will move. Then I will move. Oh,
Joan said, Joan, you have such powerful stories and clear reflections. Thank you for being so generous with your sharing.
Ooh.
Pam threw something in here as well. So many of us design our lives around the whims of others. Just saying I am, and can bring us back to ourselves, right?
Yeah, and I think this is for me, what legacy do I want to leave for my daughters, for other young people who I have been invited to be in community with, or just other people?
Yeah.
What legacy do I want to leave? The legacy of somebody who is running around all the time and doing things for the whim of others. There's narratives around that says that we're supposed to do that or I'm supposed to do that as a woman. I'm supposed to do that as a mother. I was supposed to do that as a wife, right? Like, of course. And that's where you'll find your satisfaction. And then someday, magically, you'll be happy.
Outside of yourself.
Outside of myself.
All those things are outside of yourself, right?
It's not true.
When you think about uncovering, like is unburying a word? I'm going to say it is. The act of
unearthing.
Unearthing. I was like, that's not the word. Unearthing.
Those sound good too, though.
Okay. Thank you for that validation. When you are unearthing and rediscovering who your 15-year-old self truly is, first of all, I just want you to take note of that smile. As soon as I said that, your entire being lit up. Like your whole face is like you love her, you miss her.
I do.
Right? So what are some pieces that you wouldn't mind sharing with folks that you have uncovered, that you've unearthed in community, right? Through your writing.
So go look for it now.
You said go look for it now.
Mm-hmm. Wait, are you saying like a piece or like a
piece, as in what pieces are you discovering? Like
not necessarily. Because I was like, oh my gosh, what?
No.
Here's one piece that I was, and you inspired me this when you talk about your journaling, because I love you too, Cassie. I was writing a story about my 15-year-old as if she was only a victim in so many ways. A lot of things happened to me when I moved to the US that were pretty traumatic. And I kept focusing on those stories. And I remember going to the journal, and there was something as a prompt you asked or something you said, whatever, suffice it to say, I got to my journal and I'm starting to write. And I look up the picture and she goes, "You're lying. You're lying about me." So I was like, okay, what do you want me to know about you? And what she said was essentially, you keep making it sound as though I was weak. I'm the same girl that's the woman you are today. Yo.
Do you remember that moment in Viola? Did you read Viola Davis's Finding Me?
I did, a long time ago.
Do you remember that moment in the memoir where she talked about having this conversation with her therapist, and she was talking to her younger self, and she was talking as if her younger self was a victim, and she was like, "You forgot, I'm strong. I'm the reason why you were here." Like,
facts. So that was a huge epiphany for me. Talk about uncovering, talk about like unearthing. I've had to shift how I see myself from my foundation, from that really pivotal moment, because I had storified it in a way that actually was very reductive and fit this common trope we like to have about, the poor immigrant comes and it's really, really awful. And that's not capturing at all one iota of what has made me who I am today. Like it's almost like I have to sit quietly and breathe to rediscover and reacquaint myself with who I was, because I was spending some time surviving, right? It's hard to move. It's hard to be new. It's hard to
that wasn't a small move either. That was a small move. Huge move.
A huge move. And I'm the eldest. And so there was nobody ahead of me to make sense of things. And so what I am becoming aware of now is I have an opportunity, one, to heal her, to listen to her, to honor her, to integrate her. I'm sure my therapist is like, thank God. Like, oh, yay, integration. Yeah, because I feel like there's, I discovered that my 15-year-old was mad at me because I was lying about her. I was lying about myself. And that it was a shameful story.
Yeah.
And again, that's running away from myself because that pleased other people because it fit, like, the played out narrative. But going back to my brilliance, to say, if I had, and I can say that my 15-year-old is badass. She is amazing. I am amazing. And it's not from a place of no one else is. No, not at all. It's listen to me. I matter. And guess what? I matter to myself.
For all of us. Yeah.
Right. I matter to myself. That's what is going to be contagious and ignite the room. Right. Because if I matter to myself, I'm going to do what is really honoring to myself, which means people have permission to do that for themselves. Yes, for integration. Welcome. Yes. Welcome the whole self home.
My goodness, there's so much that we can talk about. Right now, I am holding closely breath.
Yeah.
I'm holding closely the pause. I'm also holding closely, you said something that I definitely don't want to skip over, is that when you were looking at that photo of yourself and there was a whisper, what I call the whispers, I said, why are you lying? You had space to be like, whoa, hold on. Like you acknowledged it, first of all. And then began to interrogate it and unpack it and unearth what was beneath it. And that takes work, right? So I just want to acknowledge you and thank you for doing that work, because the work that you're doing not only serves you, but it serves anyone you touch. Right? That includes your kids. There's a rippling effect. That includes the folks that you interact with at your job. There's a rippling effect. That includes all of your sister resistors. There's a rippling effect, right? That literally includes the person that you might stop at the park or at the bookstore, right? Like, like giving ourselves that bit of permission. If you've ever, Joan is someone who you meet in crossing that you didn't know you needed, that had you then sitting in your car and crying. You're like, oh, I didn't know. I needed to unpack my entire childhood. Like, you just, again, your language and your intentionality is so important here. And
I just have to say that, like, so the layers that I have to unlayer, unpack, I don't know, like relayer, right? Those layers that have to come off, what it gets replaced with, or what it gets showered with, are the stories of the other women that I'm in community with. So Tamika Thompson is somebody who her book really spoke to me, and having an opportunity to really interrogate who I am supposed to be. There was a line in her book that really made me sit up straight. It was like, let's go. My assignment. What's my assignment that's uniquely mine? And she's not the only woman that said that to me, right? There's lots of other women. And so those are the layers that are, or maybe it's the wind or something that is pushing me forward, or I don't yet have the metaphor yet, but I feel so ex-Haley with the support of the other women around me, because I'm not on my own. I'm not doing this in isolation. Yes,
Yeah.
I have my own unique lane, and I get to live that, explore that, interrogate that, uplift that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not doing it alone. I'm
It's
just feeling so grateful that I'm alive to be experiencing this.
Yeah, it really is transformational.
It is.
Last question.
Yes.
Why is this conversation about liberation necessary? What comes to mind now? It doesn't have to be the stamp that we send out. It's like,
the world needs this right now. Needs me to be liberated. Needs me to do my assignment, which is I came here to heal the planet, one person at a time, starting with myself first. I have it written over here, and I'm reminded that that's how I move. Yeah. It's how I be. So when I liberate myself to that beingness, then others around me are liberated. It is, we can do anything we want. We can manifest anything we want.
Yeah.
The world just becomes more shiny and brilliant when I sit in that space, and then sit in that space in community. So that's why it's important. We got to do this now. Let's go. Come on. 2026 is asking us to do that.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Joan, you are just a big ball of joy, literally joy personified. And I thank you so much for being here. Yeah, we've been talking about about our liberation, our manifesto for women of color this entire episode. So if you want to learn more about the anthology that's coming out in 2026, make sure you hop on allaboutourliberation.com/wait-list-home so that you can learn more about the anthology. Like, go ahead and hop on in there. And y'all already know this conversation is going to continue. So if you're joining us for the first time, one of the things that we do is we have a behind the scenes conversation that y'all have a chance to tap into, right? But you can only find it on my Substack. So if you have not subscribed to Substack, make sure you do so to get access to all of the amazing conversations, because we did not even get through half of the questions that I have for today, right? So there's 30 minutes of a behind the scenes that'll be released later this week. So go ahead and check that out. Also,
the after party.
And you said the after party?
Yes, the after party. Come on.
There's an after party.
Let's go.
Hey, with Joan, there's always an after party. And if you really enjoyed this conversation and want to just learn more about Joan and what she's doing, you heard someone earlier that said, I absolutely love being on Joan's mailing list. The words that come through are what is needed in the moment, right? And so let's go ahead, and if you haven't already signed up, and you are a Black woman who wants to be a part of getting that message on a monthly basis, go ahead and sign up for Joan's newsletter. I dropped that in what is it called? YouTube. I'll also drop it in Facebook afterwards, so that is there. And Joan,
and also just like other Black women, and the reason why it's Black women is because there's so little written for us, by us. And I was like, you know what? I matter, you matter. Black women, let's go. This is for you. I want to hear what you have to say. Yes. I want you to breathe with me.
Yes. Oof. Speaking of breathing with you, journal prompt.
Yes.
So we're not just here again to have this conversation and we're going to dip out and leave. Again, there's a 30-minute conversation that's about to happen after this. And there's an opportunity for you to always open up that notebook, grab that pen, and start writing, y'all. So, Joan, what is our journal prompt for today?
Okay. Wait, did I write? Hold on. I didn't finish writing my journal. It's right here, though. Hold on. If you gave yourself permission to take a pause, a breath, What do you imagine you would remember?
Hmm.
I'll say that again for the people in the back. If you gave yourself permission to take a pause, a breath, what do you imagine you would remember?
Hmm. Hmm. Y'all take some time, unpack that, crack open that notebook. Maybe that's some little night journaling that you'll do today. But I definitely want to encourage you to explore that a little bit more. Joan, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for joining us today. It has been an absolute pleasure. There will be more information in the show notes, y'all. So make sure y'all check that out. And if this conversation, huh?
Thank you. Thank you. You make it so easy to have this conversation.
Always.
Thank you.
Always. You're always welcome. Like, y'all just have no idea what this woman has done for me and for others. So go ahead and get into her atmosphere. It's no joke. It is no joke. Make sure y'all don't forget to like, to share, to comment, and subscribe to Byrd's World so that you have the opportunity to catch more of this conversation. Also subscribe to the Female Network. We are on 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday, 7 a.m. or 7 p.m. So make sure y'all catch an episode that's here. We will be back at the top of the year, y'all. 2026, the first Monday in January. So I really, really appreciate y'all for joining us. If you thought this was something good, you want to make sure that you are joining us for All About Our Liberation Journey. So make sure you join our wait list for that. And also, last but not least, look here, y'all. I do a open house every other Tuesday, right? So if you're looking for a writing community, this is open to all. Let's find a way to turn your message into a movement and join us for our next open house, which is happening tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central Time. You can join us at byrdsworldpublishing.com/open house and just RSVP for that. Be in the room. I thank y'all so much for being present, for leaning in, for being in this chat. Each and every one of y'all, we could not do this without you. So with that, I want to send all of my love to you. Until next time, sending you love and liberation. Bye, y'all.
We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, dhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, Ngiyabonga. Senegal, Jaref. Kenya, Asante. Israel, Toda. Pakistan, Shukriya. Afghanistan, Tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, Shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.